Inflation is posing a major challenge to Americans. This week, the Department of Labor announced the Consumer Price Index rose 7% over the 2021 calendar year. Notably, that jump marks the largest 12-month increase since June of 1982. Economists point to the coronavirus pandemic as an explanation. Recently, there has been a sudden surge in demand for goods. This is being met by limited supplies and short-staffed workforces. But things may get better in the coming months. In a recent article, Harriet Torry helps break down these expectations for the new year. Let's bring in Harriet now. She's a reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Harriet, welcome. Good morning. The Wall Street Journal surveyed a number of economists regarding the outlook for inflation this year. What did their responses tell you?
Hi, good morning, Enrique. Well, one thing that we did see in the survey is that economists do expect inflation to remain pretty elevated over the course of 2022. But at the same time, they're hopeful that by the end of this year, things will really start to cool off. So it's fair to say that economists really think that right now, what we're seeing right now, this 7% year-over-year increase, highest inflation for 40 years or so, is probably the peak. They expect that by June, by the middle of this year, things will start to be around the 5% year-over-year increase range. And then by the end of 2022, they're hopeful that the rise in inflation will be back to around 3% levels, which is definitely more than we've seen sort of in the years since the financial crisis before the pandemic, but it's much more manageable than the current levels of inflation we're seeing, which is really exceptionally high.
Last year, some experts were saying, listen, you're seeing inflation, but it's really only certain items because of supply chain issues, like cars can't get the microchips that they want, so it's hard to get a new car. So then used cars are way more expensive than they normally would be. But I'm wondering if that is still the case. Can you just talk to us a little bit about how supply chain issues, the pandemic, and inflation all relate to each other?
Yes, definitely. So yeah, for a long time, people were saying this is transitory. This is due to the pandemic. The reason we're seeing these sharp increases in inflation is because the economy essentially shut down for a few months during the pandemic and then reopened. Suddenly demand was booming. People were going back to work. People were getting vaccinated. And so there was a lot more demand for, things like eating out, but also furniture and things that you use at home, like home fitness equipment, used cars. As you mentioned, there was a shortage of chips for new cars, so used car inflation suddenly boomed. But then as the months went past, it started to, inflation remained high. It continued to go up. So the Fed is sort of not using the word transitory as much as it was before. And they're really starting to say, okay, inflation is a big problem. And, this is our number one priority. The Fed has two tasks. It focuses on maximum employment and price stability. It targets 2% year-over-year inflation. At the moment, we're seeing 7%, a lot more than usual. So the Fed is now, the unemployment rate has gone down a lot. It was 3.9% in December. So the Fed is really focusing on inflation now. And there's a lot of pressure. People are really feeling this.
President Biden has called inflation a, quote, global challenge. Is that accurate? Are other parts of the world facing similar challenges?
It is definitely a global challenge in this world because so many of the things that people consume, like say, for instance, you want to buy a new couch or new clothes, much of this is made overseas and it has to be transported internationally. And we're seeing lots of different things happen in different countries. So for instance, in a lot of countries in Asia, they're pursuing zero COVID strategies. That means that they're really clamping down. If there's an outbreak of a cluster of Omicron cases, they will really shut things down, try and halt production at factories, for instance. And this is creating a big backlog. We're seeing big backlogs at ports in the US. On top of that, we have shortages of things like truck drivers to truck things around. So it just means that there are big delays in a lot of things that people want to order. And there's also, an increase in prices.
Did any of the experts you talked to talk about the impact of the Great Resignation, the fact that people are sort of quitting or not going back to their jobs when they were laid off during COVID? They're looking for better jobs. They're getting better paying jobs because it's hard to find employees. Their income is not going to go back down. They're going to continue to be paid more. And, usually there's a trickle-down effect to the consumer. Did any of the experts mention that at all?
Yes, of course, the labor cost is another big picture of the inflation situation. So what we have at the moment is a real shortage of workers. The unemployment rate is very low. That means people have a lot more ability to sort of say to their bosses, I want a raise or I'm going to quit and go find another job. And that is pushing up wages. And in turn, of course, that pushes up demand and pushes up prices. So, the labor shortage in the US is very acute. Of course, that's a good thing for a lot of workers. They finally have the ability to go out and find new jobs. And another thing that we've seen in the pandemic is that people are working from home. They can really work. A lot of jobs people can work from anywhere. You can move to a cheaper place, a different city, and just work from home. And that will potentially, gives you a lot of freedom. And then for essential workers, people who have to be on the front line, they can kind of start asking for more things. They can say like, hey, I'm coming into work every day. I'm risking my health, coming face to face with customers in a very, precarious environment. So I want to get that paid time off. I want to get more vacation days. People just have a bit more bargaining power. That, of course, does have an impact on inflation in the broader economy. And that's something that economists are extremely focused on. So there's a lot going on in this picture. But the thing that people are noticing is that prices are rising and they're feeling the pinch. Driving around, you see that gas prices are up like 50% from a year ago. Doing your weekly food shop, meat prices are up 60%. People are really feeling the pinch. But what economists are saying is, yes, prices are rising. They're not going to go back down. But what we should see over the course of 2022 is that these very strong increases should moderate somewhat.
Harriet, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell was on Capitol Hill this week. What actions can the Fed take in 2022 to, well, first of all, try to fight inflation? We know rising interest rates is being discussed, but you also have national debt and the effect that rising interest rates can do on that debt for the U.S. economy.
Yes, of course. Now, the Fed's toolkit for tackling inflation does really consist of the main battle armor it has, which is raising interest rates. And when the Fed last met in December, it penciled in about 3 interest rate increases for 2022. A lot of analysts now think that they're going to have to actually raise rates a lot faster than that because inflation is rising so much. So the expectations for a rate increase as soon as March have gone up a lot in the past few weeks. And the Fed is really under pressure. The other thing that it could do is start to run down its balance sheet. It was buying bonds after the financial crisis, and then it picked that up again after, due to the pandemic. So it has these 2 levers that it can try and use to alleviate inflation pressures for American people.
All right, Harriet Torry, thank you so much. At least you gave us a glimmer of hope that things will get better, or at least they won't get much worse.
It's Friday.
Much worse is better than nothing. Thank you.